Today's video will discuss one nightmarish plot in the Obi Wan Kenobi show, which had us audibly gasping. The series is pretty tense, despite us knowing most of the characters will remain safe, as per canon. But that's the least of our concerns. We learn more about Darth Sidious's way of conquering death. In his quest for immortality, whatever semblance of humanity Palpatine had is lost. Let's peek into Sidious's devious mind. As expected, the Jedi tomb is Palpatine's cruel brain at play. If we could have made Annalene McCord sing Dear Palpatine, If I Were Your Mother to Sidious, we wouldn't be in this mess. The Jedi just don't get a break. The fourth episode of Obi Wan Kenobi included an unexpected scene. Fortress Inquisitorius is more than simply Palpatine's headquarters for Jedi hunters. It houses a hidden tomb of Force-sensitive humans, but it's much more than a Sith trophy chamber. It is the foundation of Star Wars' most famous plot, Palpatine's pursuit of the unnatural power for eternal life. The Empire placed total trust in Fortress Inquisitorius. Palpatine thought it was so strong that it didn't even have to have shields. Aside from the usual Imperial arrogance, it's easy to see why. The castle was built on a water moon in Darth Vader's solar system, the Mustafar system. It was also the headquarters of the Inquisitors, and only a suicidal Jedi would attempt to fight their lethal dark side disciples. So our unnaturally courageous hero does break in. Obi-Wan discovers a tomb on a guarded level deep beneath water, on a floor secured by soldiers and droids. Vader and the Emperor held the remains of killed Jedi and Force-sensitive folks in a large chamber with 2 levels, each body added to Palpatine's decades-long mission to eliminate potential foes, young and old. Everyone in the galaxy was aware that the Empire was on the search for Jedi. We know that they love to make a display of their victim, as we see with Jedi's Neri's body. So why go to the extent of hiding their lair from the world? The answer in the manner in which Palpatine imprisoned their corpses. Obi-Wan discovers meticulously preserved bodies encased in an amber-like fluid, as if they had been frozen in liquid before death. As a result, most died with their eyes open and a frightened expression on their face. The translucent yellow and orange shells resemble the amber that held mosquitoes in Jurassic Park. And this isn't by chance, since Palpatine's ambitions for these corpses were the same as John Hammond's for those mosquitoes: cloning. The Rise of Skywalker reveals that Sheev Palpatine not only created Snoke, but also returned using dark technology, cloning, and secrets only the Sith understood. Sidious may have slaughtered Darth Plagueis in his sleep, but he may have shed a tear of joy seeing his students' ambitions in whatever afterlife Sith Lords visit. But why don't Palpatine's decade-long efforts work out in the end? Palpatine's clone bodies were meant to be constructed from organic material that Imperial scientists planned to harvest, and certainly wasn't successful, probably because a dead body, even when unharmed, cannot be mined for midichlorians because it is no longer a member of the living force. The Mandalorian investigates the dark technology behind the Emperor's quest for immortality. Dr. Pershing, who bears the emblem of Kamino cloners, informed Moff Gideon that he needed Grogu's midichlorian-rich body for their covert experiment 4 years after Palpatine's death. The Empire later opted to employ a living subject like Grogu. Palpatine had discovered dark science and learned that only a living, Force-sensitive person was necessary for his plan through trial and error, especially one with a high midichlorian count, which is unusual. When Snoke assumed control of the First Order many years later, their efforts would finally bear fruit. However, Obi-Wan Kenobi, which takes place 10 years before A New Hope, shows that Palpatine's grand scheme had started long before he passed. When Palpatine encounters Rey at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, he needs to take over a living person to restore himself to full glory. But we all know how that ends, and thank God for that, because there are only so many ways you can say, somehow Palpatine re-returned before fans riot. Achieving immortality wasn't simple. It took years of failed attempts and false starts for Sidious. Because of this, the knowledge of the people's bodies in the Jedi tomb hits hard because they found no peace, even in death. So why did the Sith wish to seek eternal life? The Emperor's deadliest crime was attempting to defeat death, just like 2 of Palpatine's supervillain equivalents from popular culture, Sauron and Voldemort. The enemy that comes for everyone and the greatest threat to even the worst among us. But because death is a certainty in life, Jedi become one with the Force while the Sith struggle against it. The inevitable is accepted for what is by those who follow the light side of the Force. The Force is what gives all living things their power, and it is the Force that unites the entire galaxy. The ultimate unifier and equalizer is death. Herein lies the essence of the dark side. The Sith wants to destroy the Force by manipulating death. Because of this, the dark side's strength corrupts the soul while maintaining the body. It's pretty poetic. In contrast, many pop culture shows and movies show one ominous villain taking down everyone for their motives. We have plenty of people vying for their shot at becoming immortal in Star Wars. That isn't merely a coincidence. Due mainly to Darth Maul's affiliation with the dark side, he can avoid certain death. Like Darth Vader on Mustafar, he had such a profound loathing for Kenobi that it served to keep him alive. As he clung to life, Anakin yelled about his hate for his master. Even the Grand Inquisitor in the Kenobi series was stabbed, as it goes, with no definitive end in sight. The writers did have to stay true to his arc, as per canon. The Grand Inquisitor will go to hunt Ezra and his friends in the Rebels show, set 4 years after the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Darth Sidious, the strongest Sith of them all, was able to postpone a complete demise for the longest time. His allegiance to the evil side was so strong that it required 2 extreme Force users to put an end to him finally. They did this by summoning the strength of every previous Jedi that differs significantly from the techniques employed to take down regular people. In other news, do you think Quinlan Vos is the reason Grogu survived Order 66? Of course, someone as cool as Quinlan survived Order 66, and he continued to fulfill his obligations as a Jedi by working for the Path, as seen in the Obi Wan Kenobi series. Children and Force-sensitive people were kept hidden from Palpatine by a covert underground network of safe havens spread across the galaxy. The obvious question is whether Quinlan Vos saved Grogu from impending death. Now that the Disney Plus series has introduced us to little green Padawan, who was also present at the Jedi Temple during Order 66, we need to know. And did the Path continue to keep Grogu a secret for a while? Knowing Disney, they wouldn't have mentioned him unless they had a spin-off series in mind, or maybe we'll see him in the upcoming Andor series. Regardless, we're eager to learn about him. More so, will Roken and Reva make an appearance in the other Disney shows? Two breakout actors from the Kenobi series have lived to tell the tale. It's easy to guess that Roken and his friends could be the force behind the Rebel Alliance's origins, Andor will take place just a few years after the Kenobi series, so it's highly likely for Roken, who seems to have helmed the Alliance, to make an appearance. Now that we know that Reva has decided to toss aside her vengeful agendas, maybe we'll see her finally come over to the good side and use her force to limit Vader's army. It would be exciting and give us the kick we've gotten from seeing crossovers, such as The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Sure, the series was less about Boba once Mando showed up, but we do not want less screen time for the charismatic Diego Luna. To conclude, one rich fan has made his childhood dreams come true. Any kid excited about Star Wars has wanted to lay their hands on the Millennium Falcon or Luke's X-Wing fighter. Okay, it's not just kids. We too have our eyes set on these prized toys. However, one person decided to beat us to it. According to IGN, an authentic X-Wing miniature prop from A New Hope sold for a stunning $2.3 million at auction. The Prop Store Hollywood memorabilia auction included the X-Wing. At this point, fans with considerable money could purchase a staggering amount of beautiful works of film history. There were a lot more memorabilia that had people fighting for those unique pieces. The model was unaffected, even though the spacecraft and the Death Star fight over Yavin 4 detonated. There were pyro models explicitly made for blasting on film, but this one made it through production undamaged. It might not be Luke's Red 5 model for sure, but even so, this is an incredible piece of Star Wars history that any fan would treasure. Playtime for rich folks is too different for those of us still building sandcastles. Anyways, that's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts of Palpatine's pursuit of immortality? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!